Hi kiddos, today we're gonna make some cupcakes. These are clay vessels. A vessel is something that holds an object. So you can put something in here. Here's the top, here's the bottom, and they will come together for you to hold things. Cupcake clay vessels, this is how you do it. All right, we are going to start this project off with a chunk of clay that's about the size of my okay. I put it back and forth in my hand, squeezing and rotating the whole time. And then I just roll it a little bit in our hands. Our tables are flat, so we don't want to roll it on the table. Our hands are round, so by rolling it in our hands, it makes it round. Then I need to make this into a pinch pot. So I am going to put my clay in the ball of my hand, my weak hand, and then use my thumb, the very tippy top of my thumb, to go straight into my clay. Then when I get to feeling a little bit of movement on my clay, from my clay to my hand, I stop. So I push straight down. I don't use my thumb this way. I go straight in. Then I go sideways. When I go sideways, I put my hand under, my fingers under my weak hand, and I'm just going like this and rotating that around. So my hole is on the side. Put my thumb in and I push starting at the bottom and rotate. And when you do it on the bottom, that will make the sides about the right thickness as well, just magically. Okay, when you're done with that, it should be about the thickness of a pancake, and it should be even throughout. So the whole thing should be about this thick. I'm gonna tap it on the table a little bit because I want flat bottom here. Okay. So this is a silicone cupcake holder. I put this in there, and then I'm going to put this, again, I'm pushing that bottom clay into this little area right here to give it a flat area, flat bottom. And then I'm just going to push, again, the same way I did the pinch pot, to have the texture from the cupcake holder in my in the sides of my clay. Okay, then if you're in my classroom, I will I want you to bring it to me, and I will cut the edge off so it's nice and flat. If you are not face-to-face, you can use a fettling knife, you can use a wire cutter, either of those work to flatten it out. And I'm just smoothing the edges, and then this will peel right off if the clay is the correct consistency. If it's sticking, then just let it sit in there for a little bit and peel it off after it's a little bit more dry. Okay, and that's how we do the bottom of our vessel. So I start off by squeezing it into a coil shape, and when I can't squeeze it any more, I am rolling it fingertips to palms, putting a little bit of pressure into it, but not a ton. You're gonna roll this coil, this snake out until it is about the thickness of a Sharpie or a thin marker, a little bit bigger than a pencil. Two hands, fingertips to palms. If you don't go fingertips to palms, it will flatten because you won't have the circle going all the way around. If it does flatten, just tap it a little bit on the tall side and that'll turn it more into a square, and then you can use your rolling technique to make it round again. Try to make it as even as possible, because that tip on an icing bag, if we were making real frosting, usually is quite similar all the way around. Okay, so now to take the top, I have a piece of fabric that I put a circle on that is about the same diameter as the bottom of my cupcake. I want to be able to see the coil, or to see that black line when I start on my bottom coil. Every time we put clay and clay, we need to scratch, 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 water, 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 wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Or the correct term is slip and score. So I am going to have the black line showing here. Then I'm going to take my scratching tool. At this school I have forks. Okay, scratch, scratch, scratch. On the inside edge, okay, you're gonna see the outside edge. The top of the first part and the bottom of where it's gonna attach. Okay. And then we need to grab some slip, water, water, water. And then on the bottom of this one, water, water, water. And then this time when we go around, we need to get it to go smaller so it's like a pyramid. So this mountain needs to be on the inside, and we wiggle it a little bit and go on the inside. Make sure it stays together by wiggling it. Okay, and now I've come to where I need to scratch again. And the bottom needs to be scratched. And then we just keep going a little bit on the inside. So not smack dab on top of each other, but they need to overlap a little bit. So that way you see the bottom one a little bit and the whole top one. Otherwise, if you put them smack dab on top of each other, it's not going to get skinnier, and you're not going to get the frosting to go into a point. And then I want to be able, I'm gonna hold it a little bit. It should be stiff enough that you can hold it like I am. And then you need to finish it off into a point. With frosting. Now I'm just going to go back and wiggle it a bit and make sure all the coils are connected to each other. You can decorate it however you want. So a lot of my kiddos have asked to do fruit, like a cherry or a piece of strawberry. So cherries, I'm going to make into a circle, into a ball. Okay, so I made it into a ball, and then I'm going to put a indentation in the middle, because cherries kind of do that. I'm not worried about the bottom, what a cherry looks like on the bottom. So it's kind of like a little rounded heart. And then I'm going to put a little hole in there. Okay, now I tell my students face to face that we're gonna put some stems on here. I cannot guarantee that stem is going to work. It may fall off before it makes it in the kiln. It may fall off in the kiln. Random things happen, but might as well try, because the worst that'll happen is it just falls off and breaks. And if you don't try, then you're just not gonna have one anyways. So why not? So I figure out how long I want it to be, and then I kind of tap it on the table because cherries have like a flat part on top of their stem. These are carrot shaped, so when I roll them, I put a little more pressure on the small side compared to where it attaches to the tree. Okay, I'm gonna attach this cherry to my cupcake first. I'm gonna figure out where I want it to go. Then I need to scratch both the cupcake and the cherry. Then slip, and then wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And so that'll make it look like the cherry is sitting in the frosting. Now I don't know if you noticed, but I was holding this while I put that cherry, wiggled that cherry in there, because if I didn't, the whole thing might collapse, and we definitely don't want that to happen. Now I'm just gonna stick my stem into the water. It's a little too thin at the bottom. Try again. Stick it into the water. Whatever way I want to, and there it is. If you want to do sprinkles, you may. They could just be drawn on. But every time you put clay and clay together, you do need to slip and score. So I use my little fingernails, scratch, scratch, scratch. Scratch, scratch, put it on there, wiggle, wiggle. So making a little square by taking a piece of clay, and I just shape it in my hand, a little rectangle. Maybe making it round a little bit. If you like the round sprinkles. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Water, water, wiggle. If you do this just by painting though, you can get them smaller. Here's my cupcake bottom together. Usually I have labels with names on them, and I put them on the board separately. Okay, so that way the top doesn't smush the bottom before I can get it in the kiln.